Hey everybody, this is Mr. Longo, and in this video we are going to cover finding surface area and volume of prisms and cylinders. So it's very important to know the difference between finding the surface area and finding the actual volume of three-dimensional figures. So the nice thing about prisms and cylinders is the way we find the base area, lateral area, surface area, and volume is pretty much all the same. So to find base area, that depends on the shape of your base. So remember, for a prism, you can have a rectangular prism, a triangular prism. A cylinder is kind of, in a way, a circular prism. And it's all named by the shape of the base. So when you find your base area, it depends on the shape. So that's why we cover 2D first. Lateral area. So remember, the lateral area of a prism is the lateral faces, or our rectangular faces that connect the bases. Same with a cylinder. It's the rectangular piece that connects the top and bottom circle. Again, think about unwrapping a label from a bottle. Now, when you're trying to find the total surface area, again, that is just the two bases plus your lateral area. So you add all of that together. So the difference between surface area and volume is if you were to just have a figure in front of you and you just wanted to paint the exterior. Volume, however, volume is when you fill the entire thing up. So if you were to take a cylinder and fill it all the way up with water on the inside, that is volume. Painting just the exterior of it is the surface area. Okay? Now, in terms of units, whenever we're working with surface area, we're going to use units squared, and volume is always in units cubed because it's three-dimensional. Okay? So let's start with some examples. I'll do number 1, and then you can pause and try number 2. So the first one. Since this is a rectangular prism, it honestly doesn't matter what you choose to be your bases. Remember, when the bases of a prism are non-rectangular, you have to use those. But when it's a rectangle, you can have, this could be almost like a Kleenex box. You can use the top and bottom for the base, or if you want, you can use the front and back as the base. It really doesn't matter when it's rectangular only. So I'm going to use the front and back. So, remember, the formula for base area is, it depends on the shape. Well, this is a rectangle, and the area of a rectangle is base times height. So, we're just going to say that this is 6 times 10, and we have a base area of 60 meters squared. Now, our lateral area. The lateral area formula, as written above, is the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. So if we were to take the perimeter of our base, that's the perimeter of the rectangle we just used to find the area. So the perimeter would be 6 plus 10 plus 6 plus 10. So we're going to have a perimeter of 32 times the height of the actual prism. Now remember, we talked about this in the last video as well. The height of a prism is the distance between the bases. So we're going to use 15 for our height. Okay? So then you just multiply, and 32 times 15 is going to give us 480 meters squared. And that is our lateral area. That is just the area of these 4 rectangular faces that we would call the top, bottom, left, and right. Your total surface area is when you add all of these faces together. So you would have 2 of your bases, so 2 times 60, because we have our front and back, plus the lateral area that we just found, 480. We would add those together, and you're at 600 meters squared. Okay? Now, in terms of volume, volume is when you're filling this entire thing up. So, the formula for volume is the base area times the height of the prism. So we already found the base area. The base area is still 60, but now we're going to multiply. And then all we're going to do is come up with 900 meters cubed since we just found the volume. Okay? So that's kind of how you work your way through a prism. So I'm going to let you try number 2, and I want to give you a hint before you start. You are missing one piece of information. But at this point in the semester, you should be able to find it on your own. So pause the video, give it a try, and yes, you will have to find one little piece. Click play when you're ready to see it. Okay, so the piece that you needed to find is the hypotenuse of this right triangle. And you don't need it for the base area, but you do need it for the lateral area because you need the perimeter of the base. So, you have no option. You must use your triangular faces as the base of this prism because those are the non-rectangles. So, how do we find the area of a triangle? It is 1/2 the base times the height, which is going to give us 6 inches squared. Now we have to find the lateral area. The lateral area is the perimeter of the base. Again, that's why we had to find this piece right here. So the hypotenuse, 5 plus 3 plus 4, we're going to have a perimeter of 12 times the height of the prism, which is 10. So we have 120 inches squared for our lateral area. The surface area is the lateral area plus 2 bases. So we have 2 times 6 for our bases plus 120. That's going to give us a total surface area of 132 inches squared. And then to find the volume, it is the area of the base, which we already found, times the actual height of the prism, which is 10. So you have a volume of 60 inches cubed. Okay? So that is how you find the surface area and volume of a prism. Now I will let you know that a cylinder is the exact same. There's one difference. The base is always a circle. So when you're working with a cylinder, you need to remember that the perimeter of a circle is actually known as circumference, which we have done before. So again, all of these formulas that we've done, you have to know them to be able to complete surface area and volume problems. So whenever you're looking for the perimeter of a circle, remember you use circumference. I want exact answers here. So why don't you, again, pause the video and see if you can handle this one on your own. So your answer should have pi in it. Remember, when I ask for an exact answer, I want pi. Pause the video and give it a shot. Okay, so base area. Remember, the base of this cylinder has no option but to be the circle. So if we're working with the circle, the area of a circle is radius squared pi. So we have 5 squared pi, which is equal to 25 pi units squared. So one fun fact is if it doesn't give you an actual unit, you just use the letter U, because that just is universal for any unit that you could be working with. The lateral area, again, the lateral area is the perimeter of the base, but when it's circular, we call it the circumference. Circumference of a circle is diameter pi. Okay, so remember, circumference is diameter pi. So, our circumference is 10 pi times the actual height of the cylinder, which is 6, and we have a lateral area of 60 pi units squared. Total surface area, again, it's just 2 bases because we have a top and a bottom, so 2 times 25 pi, plus our lateral area of 60 pi, and that's going to give us a total of 110 pi units squared. Last but not least is the volume. The volume is your base area, 25 pi, times the actual height of the cylinder, and that's going to give us 150 pi units cubed. Okay, that's it for surface area and volume of prisms and cylinders. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.